going to tell you ways that you can start van life on a budget. I am not exactly flush with money myself. I was very fortunate that I got some money from someone who owed me some money, and also a payout from a thing. And so I was able to buy my van and set it up in a fairly short amount of time because I had a little bit of spare money. But I am not one who has money to splash around. So I feel like I've got some input on how, if you are also on a budget, you can set up a van for yourself to get started with van life without spending a heap of money. You see on YouTube a lot of the time, there are people who spend tens of thousands of dollars on their vans, setting them up all fancy and everything. But you don't necessarily need to do that to get started in van life. So I'm going to tell you some ways that you can start van life on a budget. Hi, and welcome to another video with me. My name's Coralie. This is my channel, Jump With No Fear. Join me for this video, and I'm going to tell you ways that you can start van life on a budget. You don't need to spend tens of thousands of dollars to get a van happening. So these are some of the ways that I've done it myself. I did spend a little bit of money in the beginning because I had some money come in that I wouldn't normally have. But you don't need to do that. Normally, I do live on quite a tight budget and I don't have a lot of money to spend all the time. So I'm going to give you some of the ways that I managed to put my van together on a budget and some of the ways that I've continued to be able to do this on a budget. So, all right, let's get started. First off, don't buy all the things. I mean, obviously you need to start with some kind of vehicle that you can lay down in to sleep in. You don't need an expensive vehicle. You don't need a super fancy one. It doesn't even need to be that big. So yes, that's the first thing you'll need to start with. But don't buy all the things. You can set up a vehicle to camp in with just a cheap mattress and some sort of flat surface to sleep on. That's all you really need to start with. All of the other fancy things can come a little bit at a time. Speaking of getting things a little bit at a time, don't rush out and think, okay, so the things I need are this, and this. Yes, you will need some of those things, but just set yourself up one item at a time. If you think, I need something to cook on, get that thing to cook on. Start with the absolute basics, such as being able to cook, being able to wash yourself, and being able to sleep. That's all you really need to start with. All the other things can come a little bit at a time as you can afford them. Buy small and cheap to start with. Don't go buying expensive LED strips like what I've got up here. It's not necessary. You can start with just a tiny little cheap lamp. You can start with just a headlamp if that's all you're going to need. Those things can work for a while. They're not the most practical ways to do things, but as you start using individual things, you'll discover what types of things you want to continue on with. You'll also discover what works for you and what doesn't. If you jump in and buy all of the things all at once and all of the expensive things, you will often find that you'll end up with some items that you won't use. Even if you do it a little bit at a time, you'll still find that your van life will change, the way you camp will change. It all kind of changes and flows as you discover what works for you. So even if you do it one bit at a time, you will end up with things that won't work for you, which is a good reason to not buy the super expensive ones to start with. As you outgrow the cheaper, smaller, less expensive things that you buy, upgrade those items just one item at a time. So, for example, I did start with just a cheap little solar-powered lamp. Where is it? Here it is. This is my Lucy lamp. I bought that as my lighting in here, and as I have camped and as I've realized what will work in this space in my van, I have then upgraded these things one little piece at a time. So now I have these really nice LED lights which create great light. But don't feel bad if all you've got is a little lantern. It's not a competition. It's about being comfortable and working within your means. Another cheap way to go about doing things is to recycle things that you've already got at home. In my previous video, I told you about ways that I can be more sustainable, and one of those ways is reusing things like this. This is an old bread bag that I use for a bin. You can get all kinds of really fancy and expensive bags and special bin bags and all kinds of food storage containers that are practical and useful for camping. But honestly, you don't have to. Start with recycling things that you've got at home. Use some containers that you find useful at home. Use bags from food, like those ones that I showed you the other time. Oh look, I think I've got some here. This is a protein powder bag with a really good Ziploc on it. It's really strong. This is a hummus container that I cleaned. Start by using things that you can use again, that you already have, that might have been considered rubbish otherwise, and also just grab things from home. A big one. You don't need to buy camping specific items. Now, I absolutely love me a bit of fancy camping gadget gizmo gear. I would buy all of them if I could, except for the fact that I don't actually need them. But I really do love new camping gear. It's one of my favorite things. But you don't actually need to buy things that are specifically for camping. As I said in my previous point, use things that you've got at home. They don't need to be, this is for camping. It can be anything that you have. For furniture, for example, you can go to IKEA, you can go to cheap furniture shops, you can get all kinds of things. The drawers that I have in here just beside me, they're from IKEA. Go to the cheap shops, go to the discount stores. Have a look at some of the camping gear that you're really lusting after and decide if something else that is not labeled as for camping can be used for that same function. It's absolutely not necessary to get all of the fancy camping gear. Most of what you have at home can actually be used in your van or whatever vehicle you're camping in. I know this is a really short video and I know it's a short list, but for someone who does usually work on a budget, I find ideas like this and ways of thinking about things differently really help me to work within that budget, and that applies for van life as well. So start cheap, start small, and just switch your things out one at a time. I hope that was helpful to you. If you enjoyed this video, I would love it if you would give it a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you know when I upload a video next time. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you to my awesome patrons as well. You're all wonderful. And I will see you in the next video. Okay, bye.